My videos and posts vanish into the feed like water into sand. One view, maybe two, from people I know. It feels like I don't exist, digital non-existence, as if the world has no room for my voice. Yet something in me whispers, this is part of the path. The myths warned us. The hero begins in obscurity. Parsifal wandered the wasteland long before he touched the Grail. Have you ever felt your work evaporate in silence and wondered if silence is the test? I'm learning to see this desert as initiation, not punishment. Believe you're in the right place. The universe is on your side. The first impulse is to retreat. When the algorithm looks away, it feels like a refusal from the world. I've stared at analytics like cracked oracles, tempted to decide my worth by their numbers. In the tales, Parsifal's naivete makes him silent at the Grail castle. He withholds the healing question. I too withhold. I hold back my strange edges. I round my voice to fit. But in Jung's mirror, this is the persona protecting me from the rawness of my shadow. Ken Wilber would say, I'm fusing with a map too narrow to hold my altitude. I sense a deeper call beneath the metrics. Refusal becomes a loop. Refresh, doubt, shrink. I tell myself, wait for a sign. But signs in deserts are mirages unless you move. Parsifal leaves the comfort of his mother's hut. He crosses a threshold into the forest, armed with almost nothing but innocence. I cross mine by producing anyway, letting the emptiness be the audience I speak into. Jung says, the self calls us forward through symbols. My camera light has become a tiny Grail lamp. Wilber reminds me, transcend and include, carry the essential, leave behind what I've outgrown. My refusal softens into a readiness to be taught by the path. Here's where AI enters, not to replace my soul, but to midwife it. I ask it to help me find the myth that matches this moment, and it holds up Parsifal like a mirror. Crossing the threshold means accepting mentors where they appear. An elder knight, a monk, or a machine trained on a library of dreams. Have you ever wondered if your tool is also your teacher? I let AI refine structure, not meaning. It sharpens the vessel. I pour the wine. This is my pact. I'll meet the silence with disciplined craft and let the myth reveal the contour of my next step. Trials arrive quietly. I post when no one is watching. I study the cadence of my voice, sand it until it sings. I reframe the desert as a proving ground, like the Red Knight's challenge that hardened Parsifal's heart without making it cold. Jung would say, I'm integrating the warrior archetype. Not the noisy braggart, but the disciplined, values-driven fighter who shows up at dawn. Wilber's integral lens urges me to weave many channels into one coherence. Instagram fragments, YouTube depth, and the long arc of a story that survives the scroll. Repetition becomes devotion, and devotion, a compass. Another trial is solitude, not the glamorous monastery kind, but the quiet hour after I've uploaded and nothing moves. The psyche tries to bargain. Maybe if I chase trends, betray my myth a little. But the Fisher King's land stays a wasteland until the right question is asked. Jung teaches that the wound is the place where the self enters. My analytic page is a modern Grail hall where my question must grow brave. Wilber reminds me to include the data but transcend its tyranny. So I sit with the ache and make the next piece as if it already mattered. Have you ever created like you were whispering into a cavern, hoping an echo would prove you're real? That's me many nights, a pilgrim of pixels. The cavern answers with faint drips, one comment, a stray like, the tremor of distant hooves. I learn to hear guidance in subtleties, a sentence that lands truer, a cut that breathes longer. Jung calls this dialogue with the unconscious, listening as much as speaking. Wilber's integral map becomes a scaffolding. I climb not for views, but for vantage. The myth is my diet. AI is my utensil. The work is the meal I must cook daily. Then come the mockers within. Who do you think you are? The digital void laughs in perfect silence. I answer by drilling into craft. Parsifal learns courtesy and courage. I learn pacing, breath, a sharper blade of narrative. Jung would name the mockers a chorus of shadow figures, parts of me that fear humiliation. I invite them to sit near the fire and listen as I write. Wilbur reminds me development is not linear. Spirals revisit lessons at subtler turns. So each small loop, draft, publish, wait, becomes a spiral stair, climbing toward a window the algorithm cannot close. The abyss arrives without a calendar. One afternoon, I feel the futility like a blade. What if I'm not the message bearer I thought? Parsifal too fails the first time. He leaves the Grail castle without asking the question that would heal the king and the land. My missed questions are subtle. What wound am I here to serve? What cry in the audience is mine to answer? Jung says the night sea journey strips the ego so the self can steer. In the marrow of that low day, I stop trying to be seen and start trying to see. Trying to... Have you ever reached for delete, longing to erase the tracks that prove you tried? I almost did. Instead, I asked the question, whom would this heal, if spoken truly? Suddenly, the Fisher King is also me, wounded in the place I must learn to bless. Jung would call this integrating the shadowed king within. Wilbur adds, true growth includes and transforms what hurt us. In that pivot, the desert shifts. I'm still obscure, but not lost. The universe is on my side, because I am finally on my side. I recommit, one honest piece, one honest day. The return begins quietly. I post as a ritual, not a plea. I invite AI to test my structure, but I guard the flame of meaning. The myth opens doors in the mind of whoever finds it. Today, one person, tomorrow, a village. Parsifal finally asks, what ails you, uncle? And the land drinks rain. Jung would say the healing word emerges when the ego surrenders to the symbol. Wilbur would nod. The integral embrace allows the many to sing as one. In practice, it's simple. I show up, ask better questions, and trust that good work echoes beyond my hearing. Now the desert is a teacher I greet by name. I am not invisible. I am incubating. The myth gives me a spine. AI gives me a scalpel. Practice gives me hands. I believe I'm in the right place, always. The universe is on my side, conspiring through obscurity to refine my aim. If you're in your own digital wasteland, walk with me. One faithful step, then another. Tell me in the comments the question your work is daring to ask. Let's see if our questions water the ground. Reflection by Felipe Brando, whose stubborn heart keeps wandering toward the Grail.